Hello friends, let's talk about the world of guitar gear on YouTube. Here is a roundup of the top 10 news, facts, hits, releases and cool things happening on YouTube. Did you know that Soldano have just released a new 20-watt head called the Astro? Well, if you didn't, I'd be tremendously surprised because within the first few days of Soldano dropping this amplification bomb...
Hello one and all.
Welcome!
Hello everybody, welcome back.
My name is Ryan Bruce.
I'm John Brown.
Donuts on a shirt.
Lots and lots of YouTubers revealed this cool new amplifier. And I'm interested in your point of view. Do you like it when a product gets into lots of hands at the same time and kind of en masse as like a brotherhood of shred? It's unleashed upon YouTube within the first 2 or 3 days? Or does that irk you? I'm interested because we saw Andertons, obviously Sweetwater, Thomann, all the big giant retailers on YouTube doing their demonstrations, followed by the usual suspects.
Soldano.
Astro 20.
Astro.
The Astro 20.
Galaxies.
Galaxies.
Nothing more and more.
But we're all waiting for Ola, really, aren't we? Come on, Ola. Where is your Soldano review?
If you're colorblind, you're screwed.
Pick of the bunch for me so far has been Pete Thorne. If you haven't checked out his review, it is just like going to school to learn how to shoot a YouTube video. Really, from a guy who's been doing this for almost 20 years, it is astounding. And I sent him a text, hey Pete, just checked out your Soldano review. Wow, that was unbelievably cool. And he went, thank you very much. I did it in just a few hours. Are you a fan of Devin Townsend? If not, why? He's incredible as a musician, as a personality. He is a voice of a whole generation. And what a voice. I mean, he is pretty much one of the best vocalists on the planet. Operatic ability, screaming. But really, what I love about Devin is the depth in his musicality and the lack of any fuck given about the kind of music that's happening. It comes out of him and he puts it out.
I think you have to be brave in order to rationalize doing what you want to do. The seeming self-absorption of the process is about finding out what makes you unique.
And recently, Devin's been uploading some updates to his YouTube channel where he talks through the process. And in particular, if you haven't seen Update 5, I would urge you to go and take a look. It is a psychological masterclass.
What was the other note that I had here about this? I'm afraid of not being able to write something that will sustain my life.
On how to overcome your fears in releasing music without any expectation of result. This is a huge topic for debate. And Devin just like walks through it in a sort of chilled, nonchalant manner, just going, I try and do this. And he's so humble. Honestly, you got to go check it out. Update number 5. He's continuing this update series and it's really amazing. Whether you love Devin's music or not, this is a full-on pro musician who's been touring and releasing music for years, like a lot of music, giving you super open kimono into the world of how he creates and overcomes the ubiquitous psychological issues of every musician. Judas Priest released a new single and it is absolutely fire. In fact, it's Trial by Fire. Almost 800,000 views within the first 6 days, which is so cool, man. I love it when new music comes out, especially from legacy acts like this. I mean, they're just astoundingly practiced. But something that I thought was a little bit off was that the majority of the reviews of Trial by Fire and the re-emergence of Priest were aimed at, wow, they're so old, but look how good they are. And I think they should really have focused on, wow, the song is really good and the musicality is formidable and this is a demonstration of decades of practice, sticky floor venues and shredding and going for it. The age is there. It's indisputable. Halford's, in his 70s. But look at the music. The music is phenomenal and it's a lesson in what you can do and don't stop doing it. Over on Ola Englund's YouTube channel, he recently reviewed the Cabinetron.
Optimus Prime is calling for his units. Cabinetron.
If you haven't checked that out, I urge you to. It looks really cool. It's an interesting cabinet simulator.
Yeah, man.
Apparently, it's the one to end them all, although I have a feeling we're going to hear that phrase for the rest of our lives. Things like, is this the best Les Paul ever? Is this the ultimate plexi? That kind of thing. It's become a meme, hasn't it? But Ola does a really good job with this review, although there are many jump cuts.
And the plugins have been really good at accommodating this.
I'm not sure if it's become some kind of inside joke or something, but there were just like a million jump cuts in the beginning and I was kind of thrown. But it was a really good video. Go check it out. The gods of Universal Audio have released the Lion, which is the pedal that everybody was really wanting. They did the amazing Ruby, they did the Woodrow, they're emulating these amplifiers, and then finally the Lion comes out and it is the list of plexis you want in a box. And, by all accounts, it is absolutely staggering.
Heavy is the crown, still the lion roars and the earth trembles.
Must have seen now 15 independent reviews, and then obviously the Andertons, Sweetwater, Thomann, all these kind of different channels.
Lion. There's always some dust on my pedal board. Let's listen to how that sounds.
Had a chance to catch up with Tor, who's very involved with the Lion and all these pedals from Universal, on LinkedIn. And I asked him a couple of interesting questions, and I'm going to ask him later on if I'm allowed to talk about the answers, because I think it would be quite interesting for you guys to have the insider knowledge on this. Does the Lion sound like a plexi? Obviously it does, because UA are phenomenal.
It feels and sounds like an actual Marshall to me. One of the first things I do is playing some Paul Kossoff.
I'm hoping to get my eager, hairy paws on a Lion at some point too, so I can do some roaring alongside the new Boss amp and cab pedal. Maybe that would be an interesting shootout. We'll see what happens when I do it. Over at my home from home, Andertons, they brought Justin Sanderco in, and Lee and Justin sort of shot the shit and talked about how to buy a guitar if you are a beginner.
We are in Andertons, and my good friend Justin Sanderco has come to have a play.
This is a topic that continually comes up, and people do it. I mean, I've done it. I think every guitar-focused gear YouTuber has done this video, but Justin Sanderco is an absolute legend. In fact, he taught me when I went to the Guitar Institute in Acton in my teen years. Justin taught me ear training.
Justin, if you don't know, gave me some guitar lessons a few years ago, and it was a breakthrough moment for me. That's really all you want.
He knows a lot about guitars, and watching Lee and Justin kind of talk about the merits of different styles and pickup configurations and the ins and outs, it isn't just an East Coast advert.
We've had a drummer and a bass player and a little
and use that.
Yeah, crank it up, and it's all right.
It's something that is really useful for beginners and intermediates, and probably even if you've been playing for years, it's worth a watch. Meanwhile, in Sweden, shred guru Mattias Eklund announces Freak Camp 2024. It looks super fun, and it reminds me of the spirit of something I ran once called Monkey Fest. But he's way more organised than I ever was, and has been doing this multiple years in a row. Mattias Eklund, if you don't know about him, is an unbelievably schooled and educated musician. I think people would disparagingly call him a shredder. He is not. This guy knows more about rhythm, placement, note choice, melodic content, harmony than many people I've ever met. He's one of the only people that when I sat down and played with him, I just didn't know what to do. He's incredible. And Freak Camp has lots of amazing guest artists. So during this video, he shows clips of previous Freak camps and introduces some incredible guests. Henrik Linder from Dirty Loops, like one of the best bass players of all time. Rob Marcello, oh my God, it's like watching a masterclass in 80s, 90s shredding. He's phenomenally good. And there's Kiko Loriro, there's a whole bunch of really cool people there talking and educating the people in Freak Camp. I think Freak Camp is a really cool way to disseminate knowledge of guitar, because it looks like a coming together of people in a happy, positive way, spreading the idea of writing music. And I think the YouTube guitar community could do with a little bit more of that Matthias Eklund positivity. My number one guitar hero of all time and space is Peter Green, from the original Fleetwood Mac, and obviously then later of the Splinter Group and Peter Green. Just an amazing guitar player and a person whose music touches my heart whenever I hear it. And Peter Green had a guitar called Greeny, which was a 1959 Gibson Standard. Greeny got passed to Gary Moore, you all know this story, and then eventually it ended up in the hands of Kirk Hammett, also one of my inspirations from my youth, and I learned almost every song on Puppets and in fact most of the albums, to be honest with you. I love Kirk Hammett. I love all the guitar players in the chain that loved Greeny. So I was quite happy to find out that Gibson have released an Epiphone version of Greeny.
Kirk Hammett's signature Epiphone Greeny, and look at that. That is a Gibson style open book headstock.
They've released versions of Greeny before. The original custom shop version was like 18K. And then they made another reissue and it was like 3.5K Gibson custom shop. Still, that looks really good. This Epiphone version, though, is the first time they put a Gibson headstock on the Epiphone. And yeah, it's got the same pickups as the custom shop version, but it's £1,500. I just wonder, what do you think about that?
$14.99.
It's not a guitar without its own refinements. The USA Les Paul Modern Lite, which has just launched, is exactly the same price at about £1,500.
Is this a great move for Epiphone in terms of presenting Epiphone as a high quality brand, or is it a step too far in terms of price? I know a lot of people, including my friend Andy Ferris, have questioned this sort of financial move. Are they just squeezing every cent possible from the affiliation with what ultimately is a Gibson Standard, or is it genuinely worth £1,500? Finally, and this is a really fun video, although it is very, very long, Chris Borowski and Guillaume Chenin from Thomann did a live stream where they built guitars. So they got the Thomann Harley Benton guitar kits, and there's an overhead view, and they, to a time limit, and I won't give away what happens, but to a time limit, they try and build a guitar each. And I thought, that's the first time I've seen that. It was a really cool thing to do, and it shows off the skills of Chris and Guillaume. They are really, really good presenters, really good guitar players. In fact, Guillaume, when I met him, was good, but he was really kind of learning, and now he's a phenomenally tasteful player. But they know how to wire everything in and fit everything, and they were just doing a brilliant job, and it was really fun, even with Chris's ridiculous moustache and Guillaume's incredibly cute elf outfit. That's some of the videos I've enjoyed recently. Go check them out. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, hit the like button, smash my bell, and say something in the commentary section to appease the almighty algorithm.